And we should be live. I think I made a mistake. 1 second.
Oop. Hello.
1 second. 1 second. I don't think. Oh. Let me double check. I don't think we're live yet. Oh no, we are. Sorry about that.
Oh, we're good. Can you guys hear me? Okay,
we're
awesome.
Live. We're live.
All right. Okay, no need for this replay anymore. Okay.
Did you start the run?
I have not started the run yet.
Okay, good. Good.
Okay. All right, so we got Super Monkey Ball 651 here. It's a ROM hack of Super Monkey Ball 2, which you just saw. Still story mode all levels, a very similarly structured run. Guess we'll be starting very soon. Okay. Oh. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. So this, as I mentioned earlier, is Super Monkey Ball 651. It's a ROM hack of Super Monkey Ball 2 created by Scrap651, which you may have seen in the chat. It replaces all 100 story mode levels with completely new stages, new textures, new just like everything. And one of the main things that you'll get to see in this ROM hack that you won't really see as much of in the original game is that there's a lot of really awesome uses of mechanics that are super underused in the original game. And you'll even get to see a completely new mechanic just created using the tools that Super Monkey Ball 2 has, but didn't really implement correctly. Not correctly, but it's implemented in a new way. You'll see on the following stage a new mechanic where all these diagonally textured platforms will cause you to start bouncing. So you'll see whenever, like across the entire game, whenever there's any of those like diagonal platforms and you run into it, you'll get a much bigger bounce off of it than you would otherwise. And there's a lot of really cool things that can happen from that. So what just happened there, in order to, just scroll through or make the stages load in and out faster, I have to retry right when I start the stage, and I have to scroll over to exit game right when I beat the stage. But as you can see, I have to go to stage select after I beat the stage. And I'm scrolling over exit game every time, so if I happen to not scroll up both times and I only scroll up once, I exit game. But it's okay because you can just stage select in the menu after mashing through a bit of text. It loses like 4 or 5 seconds. It's not really that bad. Okay, so World 1 is honestly pretty simple, other than the new mechanic introduced in Stage 6. Alright. So World 2, we got some new music here. World 1 just had completely vanilla music, but now, actually the music in a lot of these worlds are still from Super Monkey Ball 2, but it's actually taken from the party games and repurposed for the actual levels, which is really cool. And there's a couple strats which will start to get a little bit more involved. The next stage, 2-3, or it's not 2-3, 2-4. I'm going to be flying down this slide here. Let's see if I can get this first try. Sometimes this is a little bit troubling.
Do we have a moment? We do have moment.
Oh, whoops, I died.
In that case, Commander.
All right, I'm sliding in here. We have a $20 donation from Peter saying, "Gongon Nation, remember that I only played II because that's the only option story mode. So that's going to be $20 for it's Gongon. That means you have to donate like $31 to get II or me in there. I'm going to go back to work.
Gongon Nation, indeed. Gongon is pretty awesome. Alright, so this stage, this whole ground area, it's all this bounce floor. You can see the diagonal textures coming back. You're supposed to kind of like bounce all around, find the goal. I already know where it is. I can just fly straight to it. Pretty awesome.
Ready?
Alright, where you can get the ROM hack? There's actually a Discord channel, which I'll be sharing the invite at the end of the stream. And in that Discord channel, you'll find links to not just this ROM hack, but a ton of different Super Monkey Ball ROM hacks. It's a lot of really awesome ones. If you really enjoyed playing Super Monkey Ball, like when you were younger, I'd really highly recommend checking a lot of this stuff out. Alright, so there we go. We're through with World 2. Now we're on to World 3. In my opinion, some of the really creative stages start to shine through here. It's some pretty standard stuff for a little bit. What I think is a really cool stage coming up is stage 3-4. First of all, we have this, though. Kind of a little bit of an auto-scroller for this first section. You can't really skip staying on this block for a little bit, so I can just kind of like collect bananas for fun. It's pretty cool. But you can skip this last bit by just tricking off of that. When did this ROM hack come out? This ROM hack released in mid-July this year. Oh, in the meantime, we have this stage. You're kind of not supposed to go along that edge there, as you can cheese the whole stage by doing that. But I've pretty much been speedrunning this since it came out, so that's pretty fun. This is a really neat looking stage, just the way the ground just like comes up after the stamps press into the ground. It really like shows a level of quality that so many of these stages have that like it's really just like setting the bar for the future of Super Monkey Ball ROM hacks, which I just think is super cool. There's actually a faster way to do this stage where you ride along the corner there, but it's really inconsistent. I can only get it maybe 1 in 5 tries, and it saves 6-ish seconds. It's not super worth it to go for. Similarly, there's also a strategy for this stage, which is even harder than the last one, where you get in the blue goal without going behind, but it's absurd. Something I should note, though, while we're still in the early game right now, is that a lot of the stages are still pretty simple and like difficulty-wise. And while the game kind of stays relatively like not too far. Oh, whoops! I've not died like that before. It stays pretty okay in terms of difficulty for a while, but once you get to the late game, the difficulty really starts spiking up. So if you want to see some really hard Monkey Ball stages, you'll want to stay till the end. But for now, some pretty nice stuff. Making it sound like the easy stages are bad, but that's certainly not the case. In case you couldn't see, or you like forgot or something. That switch kind of flipped everything around. Sometimes the switches, as you may have seen on 210, even though I didn't comment on it, the switches are a little bit janky with their hitboxes. There's not a lot we can do about that when we're ROM hacking with the game. At least not now. Sometimes he'll just miss the button and lose his time, but we just hit it on the way there, save some time. World 4, although the stages are still pretty simple, some of the strats in World 4 are pretty challenging. Right here, I'm going to be trying to do something really tough here. It's not super worth it, but it looks really cool. No, dude! Okay, I almost got it. You saw what I was, like, trying to do there. Okay, I thought I was going to die. That's fine. Yeah, it only saves a little bit over 1 second if you can go straight into the goal on that stage instead of just waiting for the cycle and getting launched into the blue goal. You could kind of see when I messed up how you're supposed to do the stage. This is another level using those bounce platforms from earlier. Some of the holes, you won't die if you fall in them. And something I forgot to mention earlier is that a lot of these stages... oh, another thing before I get to that. is that this stage is all about trying to press buttons to lower this bridge that you'll see in front of me. But you don't actually have to lower the whole bridge, you just kind of need to lower those two, and then you can go straight in. But anyways, so in this game, you'll have rolling friction on the ground that'll keep you from infinitely accelerating, because in this game, there's no speed cap in the air. You can just keep accelerating as long as like you can do so and not die. So, whenever possible, we want to get off the ground, so I just bounced in those holes there in order to not get capped by rolling friction. You'll see a lot more stages with switches here as well. Ah, dang, I'm dead. You're supposed to kind of like go and You're supposed to go and stop all these parts moving back and forth and start them again, and it's a pretty long level if you do it that way, maybe 30 or so seconds. You can skip the whole thing like that. This is another level which is pretty it's pretty long if you do it normally, but there's a really tough skip here. Oh, almost got it first try. You're supposed to go all the way to the end, hit 2 buttons to make the flow of the waves switch back, and then the goal will rise back up. An obstacle comes out of the wall, but you can skip the whole thing. Even if you die like a few times like I did, it still saves a massive amount of time. It's 20 seconds if you get the skip first try. So now we got some monkey target music, pretty awesome. It's a little bit of a... I think it's a little bit less crazy with the strats than World 4, in my opinion. You'll see... Oh, whoops, I got hit forward off of the button pit. See, on this dude, I'm messing up all the easy stuff. But, okay, there we go. So this is an auto-scroller that I just died on twice. You kind of get to listen to the music a lot, you know, just dying a little bit more, because, you know, music restarts whenever you beat a stage. Just want to, like, let you hear the monkey target music, you know? And then gets rudely interrupted by the hurry-up music. Not the last time you'll hear that in this run, that's for sure. But that won't be for a while. Ooh, very nice. I love that stage. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of variety in the strats in this game. You got strats like that where you gotta go just like, you just go flying and then you land straight in the goal. You have a lot more controlled stuff as well where you're going at lower speeds, but the stuff you have to do is a bit more precise. This stage, now we have a bounce platform that's on the wall, so instead of getting bounced upwards, I'm getting bounced to the side. Oh, I almost had an opportunity to do that stage the really fast way, where you go straight in. Okay. Now, an interesting fact about this stage coming up, quadripartite, is that this beginning section is actually not symmetrical. The slope on the side I went up is a little bit less steep than the one on the other side. So if you go up the other side, you have to do a slightly different strat. I actually didn't know that for a while until I just kind of tested it out and was like, hey, this other side is a little bit better, you know. Save some time there, because I'm actually starting to get to the point where, even though I'm the only one who runs this game because no one else can like consistently really finish the end fast, or at least has tried to put in time to make it consistent. It's been a little slow improving, but in any case, we're on to like one of the craziest worlds in my opinion now, or at least the most interesting, the craziest world's World 10 for sure. But this world's all about using wormholes. In my opinion, the original game really underuses wormholes. All 10 levels in World 6 will use wormholes in really interesting ways. A lot of times it's conserving speed through wormholes, like I was doing right there. This is a combination of the wormhole and the jump platforms, we have to use the upward momentum instead of the sideways momentum to make it to the end. Now this one's a little bit finicky. The first stage where you can kind of get really hung up here. Hopefully it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen too often anymore. Got these really finicky bumps you gotta do. You got 3 of them. Okay, there we go. Second try is not bad. Nope. Alright, now this stage is a little bit of a puzzle level. Kind of gotta like enter the wormhole from the side in order to make it up here. It's not immediately obvious, but it's a really like interesting way to do or to use wormholes. Now this stage, if you look in at through the wormhole, that's actually just like death down there. If you go in there, just like straight up Mario Maker style, just death doors you into the abyss. So I'm actually just trying to avoid the wormholes on this stage. Oh, whoops. Yeah, Scrap651 made this ROM hack. Getting a lot of fun deaths that have just not happened before, but that's... Just gotta go around these again. Okay, there we go. Alright, so now on this stage, you're supposed to just charge speed by going into the left wormhole over and over again until you have enough to go all the way around the top. But if I go in the right one and hit the railing, I can instead just go in the left wormhole once, and then I can go all the way to the top. It saves around 5 seconds. I really like that strat. And now the stage after this one is, in my opinion, it's the best Monkey Ball custom level stage ever made. It's a really fun stage called Architect, where you build a device to build speed and then launch yourself off of using switches. However, because I know where all the cycles will be, I can just pause the bridge and charge speed while the parts are moving, and boom. Okay. Out of World 6. Alright, World 7, I think it's a little bit of a step back. There's a lot of crazy wormhole stuff going on in World 6. Still some fun stages, though. Got some nice monkey race music as well to accompany this amazing background, which I said that like it was ironic, but I was gonna make a joke about how it's November, but everything looks like this now. Thanks, seasons. Got a really long fall here onto this. Gotta direct my speed back up. If you land in the right spot there, you can kind of go straight in without flying too far up. Just like that. Very nice. 47 on the clock is really good on that stage. Now on this level, these platforms are actually indicating... That might have been late. Okay, now we're good. They're indicating platforms above the ground that are invisible that will hit you off, but there's a 10-frame window there where you can just hold up. You go through everything. Alright, so now we're gonna have a few cool stages coming in here at the end. I really like this stage a lot. It's a really simple idea, device. It's a lot like a combination of Civ, stage 7-5 from the race you just saw, and a stage from Super Monkey Ball 1, the first desert stage with the 2 edges that try to knock you back and forth. Okay, this stage, you kind of gotta like try to... Oh, what? Got no clip there. You kind of got to try to just go as fast as you can to stay ahead of the cycle and gain ground. But if you get a good clip at the beginning and you have good movement throughout, you can actually dismount one cycle earlier than usually, because usually you can only like dismount that when you're at one of the edges. And if you take the normal cycle, it'll be on the right, or on the left instead of the right. You can kind of hardcore cheese that stage. Not sure if Scrap thought of that, but he probably did. Alright, this stage, this is a really cool one. It's actually a really old stage as well. So what I'm using is, if you look at the minimap in the bottom right, there's a path that's on the top, so I have to use that to guide myself along the invisible path. Okay, there we go. Out of World 7. So what's interesting about that, though, is that whenever I don't have the joystick at neutral, the minimap will move to the side a little bit, so I kind of have to do taps there, like to repeatedly go neutral and then tap in order to really accurately see where I am, but also, you know, move. Because you can't move if, you know, if the joystick is neutral. Alright, a lot of cool stuff coming up in World 8 here. World 8 is a really fun world. So this stage, you have this whole maze you're supposed to go through with all these pipes. They have wormholes in them. But with good control of your speed, you can skip straight to the end. That's a really nice skip. Saves 10-ish seconds. This is a really fun stage. Possibly a shout out to stage 8-3 from Monkey Ball, which is... Oh, I'm dead. Possibly a shout out to stage 8-3 from Monkey Ball, though. It's a stage called Flipside. In my opinion, one of the best stages in that game, which has a similar flipping platform, but you're going along the flipping platform instead of going the other way. Also, we got some nice shots here whenever we enter a level. This is the music from the Monkey Golf menu. Okay, that's a really tricky stage. It can be kind of finicky. Alright, now we got the 2 Flash game stages coming up. We got the world's hardest game right here. Oh, it's a little too hard for me. Okay, that was actually kind of awesome. Alright, now we got the scary maze game, but we can kind of cheese the whole thing. This wall is a bounce platform, so if we use this pillar, we can just make it straight to the top. You're supposed to shimmy along the edge down here. It's a really precise level. You get really close to the wall, and if you hit it, you just get flung out. But you can just go really fast along the top. Way faster than you could on the bottom if you do that cheese. Now on this level, those X's are indicating the fallout plane, and the level just keeps dipping into it. So I have to make sure I'm on the upper part at all times. Alright, so we got some pretty simple levels coming up, so might be a good time to talk about the end game, because it still is in relatively sane mode right now. We don't have just super crazy stuff yet. Oh, I do have to point out here, there's a really cool individual level strat here where you... Oh, I don't think that's going to make it. Ah, dang. You can make it up there while only going in the wormhole twice, but you have to get a really specific bounce off the bottom. Alright. So you got this really cool looking stage, and then we have Worlds 9 and World 10, and World 10. So... in maybe the second half of World 9, you'll start to see a lot of way, way harder stages. The beginning of World 9 is still pretty simple. This is a really cool level right here. What you have to do here is there's these elevators and also these fans here. And in order to make it to the top, you have to ride the elevators, but you have to make sure you are not on the elevators when it goes through the fan. So you have to repeatedly, change the speed of the elevators so you can fall from one to the other when you would get smacked by the fan. There's actually a way to get smacked all the way to the top, but it is extremely inconsistent. It saves 15-ish seconds. And this stage here, this is not the intended way to do this stage. The intended way goes along all these weird edges and stuff, but I'd hardly even call it cheese because pretty much everyone I've ever seen play this ROM hack always beats the stage that way. Right. This is a really fun stage. It's actually inspired by a really old Monkey Ball custom level called Ultra Round, I believe made by Gunquad, but I'm not quite sure about that. It utilizes the fact that you have a lot of control of the monkey while you're in the air. If you didn't have control of the monkey in the air, then that stage would just be impossible. But it really just demonstrates how you can move around them while you're in the air instead of on the ground. Alright, so we got another stage with bounce platforms. This time we're doing Mario 64 bounces across the lava. Okay, we're in there. Okay, so after this stage, stage 9, 7 onwards, every single stage is super, super difficult. There's a reason the estimate's 45 minutes, and we're 23 minutes in right now. That is because of these late stages. Sometimes you beat them and it's really fast, sometimes it takes a very long time. We'll see if I can get this one first try. Oh yes, very nice. That's That's a hard one to do first try. In my opinion, the hardest one in World 9, not on a casual playthrough, but in a speedrun, it is. Oh, whoops. This one's tough as well, but it's not as bad. Once you get a nice strat there, you can run past a lot of the platforms. Okay, now this stage, it's like the final test of those bounce platforms. The whole level is made out of them. You can kind of skip a bit there. Alright. Could have played the ending a little bit riskier, but that's fine. Alright, this upcoming stage, this is what causes a lot of people to stop playing the ROM hack. This stage called Technique. You're supposed to get flipped up here and land on this edge. You're supposed to do it 3 or 4 times, depending on how you do the ending. We can actually skip some of them. If we go over here and run this way at 45 on the clock, you just get flung straight to the top. Alright, World 10. Okay. This is where Scrap decided he did not want people to finish the ROM hack. These stages are absolutely... God dang it. They're absolutely crazy. World 5 in my casual playthrough took me 5 hours, I think. This one's a little bit tricky here. It's just like if you remember Expert 7 or Exam C, it's like the super version of that. Okay. Alright, now I got this tilted wire here at the end. It's a little tricky to navigate along, especially the last turn. Oh, let's not fall. Oh, well, let's not. Oh my god. Holy crap. I was off the edge there and I didn't die. That was... I should be sitting right at the back at the beginning of that stage. Alright. Okay. Smile. So this stage. The gimmick of this stage, if you look, it looks way easier than the last one. It's just a lot of corner crosses. It looks pretty long, but as you'll see, when I get to the end of this stage, you won't actually see a goal. Instead, when I get over there, you have a switch that you'll hit, which will raise the goal at the start of the level, so you have to backtrack all the way to the beginning. And as you can see, the timer is kind of getting a little tight here. I just ran past the thing I was supposed to take. Whoops. It's okay, though. Usually when you finish this stage for the first time, you'll have like 1 second on the clock. I've practiced this stage a lot and have good enough movement where I can make really dumb mistakes like that and still finish in time. Oh, whoops. There we go. Okay, now Crank. It's a 51-second long auto scroll where you have to balance on a cylinder. There's nothing you can do to speed it up, but what I am going to be doing is kind of going along the edge. Like, rather than just facing perpendicularly to where the cylinder is, I'm going to be kind of like facing inwards a little bit. Because what that's doing is I can see, or I can better see where the crank is in its rotation, because you have to account not only for the fact that the crank is spinning, but also for the fact that the whole thing is like revolving around the center point of the crank. So by, like, say, going to the end of the crank and facing inwards there, I can better balance on it. Because there's really nothing you can do to speed it up, so it's just all about consistency at this point. Okay, so now, these next 3 stages are extremely tough. These are the hardest 3 stages in the game, like, almost certainly. This stage is arguably one of the hardest Monkey Ball stages ever made. I'm going to cheese the level, though, by skipping these 2 birds. Okay, awesome, first try. If you try to do that stage without skipping those birds, it's unethical, dude. It is absolutely insane. As far as I know, the only people who have ever beaten that stage without the cheese are me and Scrap, who made the ROM hack, so it really just says something about how tough that is. Ooh, this might not work. Oh, dang. Okay, so on this stage, I have to hit all 6 of these switches, which will lower the wall at the end of the stage, which has a switch hidden behind it, which will block in the goal at the very beginning of the stage. I can skip some cycles here, though, if I have really good movement like that. Okay, awesome. You can skip 2 cycles. You're kind of just supposed to hit 1 per rotation with that device in the center. I can also kind of like make it closer to the end before it switches, and oh, that's a really dumb death. That's fine though. A lot of times when you do runs this, like World 10 is a super big part of the run. Like a death like that, which honestly isn't even like a super bad mistake. Like it seems pretty normal to do. Like it's just a little slip up. That might something like that would probably just cost you a few seconds in an earlier world, but here I'm losing 25 seconds because of that. So it really just makes a difference. Ooh, I don't know how to recover if that happens. Let's try this.
You might be losing time, but we're definitely gaining money. You got a moment?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm just
Commander
in here. You're in the same level.
This might be Super Monkey Ball 651, but we have a $51 donation from Anonymous saying, "Crazy stuff, Mr. Ike. You got mad 651 skills."
Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is
$51. $51.
Yeah. What I must say though is that this whole strat is based around staying on the device or doing these flips as little as possible. This is kind of just unfortunate. It's just something that happens when you speedrun this ROM hack. Sometimes some stages don't really go too well. As I said, that estimate is 45 minutes for a reason. Hopefully I won't be using it. I haven't had a run go over 40 minutes in a very long time. But although this strat is made to be fast, it's also like fast and consistent. Like anything slower would probably be less consistent. Alright, so now that we're through that stage, we have this stage, which is a similar concept where you're hitting switches to lower walls. This time, the switches are on these platforms way out here, which you have to cross these frames here to get to. And you have to pause... Oh, whoops, that was almost bad. You have to pause this thing at just the right time to make sure that it actually connects with the platform when you cross all the way to the end. Okay, that looks really good. Just gotta... Oh! Whoops. This is another really bad stage to die on. As I said, these 3 stages are insanely tough. I'm honestly astonished that I beat Bird's first try. I've never actually finished World 10 completely deathless. I've had a couple times where I've played through World 10 and only died once, but I've never had a fully deathless one. In case you're wondering, I'm watching the minimap when the thing is moved, and so that's why I face away. It's just how I learned to do this stage, so it's how I do it now. A little bit of a gap. Oh, what the heck? I just got bumped to the right for no reason. Yeah, oh, I moved back. Sometimes what happens, the collision is a little weird. I'm not sure exactly why it happens, but I believe you can like hit inside polygons, like you know, all this stuff is made out of triangles and stuff. So when you have a platform, it's like, okay, which way do I send you? And it's like, okay, well, you hit an edge, so let's send you that way. But sometimes you can hit an edge that's like not the actual edge. It's kind of weird. So sometimes you get flung to the side when you really shouldn't. Okay. Really, once I have this thing paused and it's like connected to the end here, I really shouldn't be dying too much. Okay. As long as I don't do something really catastrophic, we'll be out of here. Okay. Alright. If you play that stage really well, you can actually completely like avoid getting a hurry up, which is pretty nice. Alright. So once we're out of those 3 stages, there's really not a whole for intense stuff left. There's 4 stages. Stages 7 and 9 are pretty simple. This one's just about getting these platforms to align. As they start out like with their cycles unaligned, but you have to strategically press the speed up buttons in order to get them aligned. This is really the only tricky part, balancing on this. Now, once you know what to do, it's a pretty simple stage. This one, I'm going to be cheesing this stage as well. You're supposed to stay on the top wires. Yeah, these are going back and forth. You're supposed to stay on the top one at any time, but I'm actually going to be like staying in between the two and switching like that. I will be staying on the top one here though, because this one's not too bad. And that cheese is still faster than doing it the intended way of staying on the top one. Alright, this stage, I don't know why this one's in World 10. It's really, really easy compared to everything else, so cue me dying to it. Never mind, okay. Okay, now we're on the last stage, Antlers. Time is when I break the tape on this stage, but first we have one more final skip here. It's a 4-second cycle skip, which involves me doing this. Okay, awesome. Alright, and time. Okay. That's 34:23, it looks like. Not bad, not bad. Honestly, anything under 35 minutes, just pretty... It basically means you had an okay World 10, to be honest, because World 10 makes such a huge swing in your time in this game. I'm honestly like pretty happy with how that went. The only stage which the only stages which had some bad stuff going on was stages 5 and 6 in World 10. All right, so now that we're done with that, so I mentioned earlier that we have a Discord that we like. If you're interested in either making or playing Super Monkey Ball custom levels, you can join the Discord, and there's channels for you to like talk in it about like making levels. There's channels where you can like download ROM hacks and play them. I'm gonna be linking the channel. Just give me a quick second here. Let's. Hopefully this works. All right. Oh. There we go. So you can join that Discord if you want to either play Monkey Ball ROM hacks or make them. Personally, I would recommend starting with a ROM hack called Monkey Ball 2 Witty Subtitle. It gets a little bit less crazy towards the end. And this is like what I would recommend playing Monkey Ball 2 Witty Subtitle and then playing this next, Super Monkey Ball 651. They're super fun ROM hacks. If you enjoyed playing Monkey Ball like vanilla, you'd probably really enjoy these because there's a lot of just awesome, like just passionate people who've come together to make this stuff. All right, so I am done here. Commentators, or readers, donation. Do you have anything else to say? Hello?
I think we're doing that on intermission.
Okay.
I think that's what I've been told. So I think that's
right.
Thanks for running.
See you guys later. Hope you enjoyed the run.